My first guest, Kate Christie, joins me tonight. She's the founder and director of Time Stylers and a time management expert. Welcome to the program.
Thank you for having me, Heidi.
A pleasure, a pleasure. So time management, the thing that we all struggle with, how did you become involved in, well, how did you become an expert in it?
I guess through my own life experience, but also my original business is an online portal called Babysitters and More, where I connect busy executives and professionals with home helpers such as housekeepers, nannies and babysitters. And what my clients were always telling me was that they were time poor and they had problems in terms of managing their time, and so I designed a process to help them better manage their time and then wrote a book about it so that I could disseminate that rather than answering the same questions all the time with individual people.
Is time management one of those really soft things that people go, but really, I mean, is there any silver bullet that you can pull out and it's really going to change your life?
Look, I always say there's no silver bullet. You know, I'm not going to wave a wand and get you back.
Oh, I'm so disappointed to hear that.
30 hours of time. But there are some very clever, simple strategies that you can implement. And if you invest your time, you'll find your lost time. It's about changing habits and establishing new habits and getting control of your time rather than having others dictate to you and controlling your time for you. So
for people who are listening and thinking, I'm a little bit disorganised, I'm feeling a little bit snowed under, I can hear myself in these questions. For those sort of people, what's one thing that they should be doing?
Look, one key thing is getting a handle on exactly where you're spending your time right now. And you ask a busy person. Okay.
There you go.
Emails are the absolute evil of time management. You need to get a handle on when you're spending your time on emails. So map your time across the course of 1 or 2 days, and that will pretty quickly show you that you're probably jumping in and out of emails all of the time. And multitasking like that is a massive productivity drain. That's a 40% productivity loss just there and then each time you jump in and out of an email.
So having about 10 different emails open and on the go is not a positive thing?
That's really not a good thing, Heidi.
Right, okay.
The best way to manage that is to schedule time into your diary, say 3 time blocks a day where you are going to concentrate on managing your emails. And then between times, make sure your email notifications turned off so you're not tantalised by the little ping or the little email flashing on the screen. Yeah. Right. The other thing with emails is don't start the day on emails. Most people are very fresh and terrific in the morning. That's the time where you should block out an hour of your time for your strategic thinking, for product planning, for service planning, for new initiatives to do with your clients to take your small business to the next level. Do not start your day on emails because you just get sucked in and you're being dictated to.
What about meetings? Surely, Kate, meetings are another classic time wasters. I mean, I have very productive meetings, but I'm sure there are people out there who feel that some of the meetings they're attending, they could happily miss.
Absolutely. Meetings are a massive drain. There's some very easy tips you can implement in your business to manage meetings better. You know, firstly, just make sure that you have the decision makers at the meeting. You don't need the whole team at the meeting. Just bring in the people who are going to participate and make decisions. Make sure that you have an agenda where the meeting's going to start on time and finish on time, and get into the practice of doing that. So if someone hasn't turned up on time, too bad, they missed the start of the meeting. The third thing that you can do is have very, very clear outcomes in terms of actions. So who has the action, what is the action, when do they have to have it delivered by? And that will make it much easier to manage your day in terms of the meetings that pop into your calendar.
And then you obviously have to do all the follow-ups that come out of, all the action items that come out of the meeting though.
The best way to handle that is to have one person...
Is to delegate it to someone else?
Delegate it, absolutely. Delegate it, because you don't need to be across everything. You know, the best way to effectively delegate is to tell the person what you need them to do and follow up, why you need them to do it and follow up, and give them a deadline. Then diarise the deadline, and that's all you have to worry about. You just have to chase that person up on the deadline to say, have you chased up all of those action points?
And you've worked with very senior executives. Do you find that those senior executives that are the most efficient are the ones that have really strong EA support?
Partly, yes. The EAs are obviously a great gatekeeper for senior executives, but the best executives I've worked with are ones who have very, very strong control over their own diary. and their own plans for the day. They have time taken out where they know they're going to spend on meetings, time they dedicate to emails, time they dedicate to strategy and so forth, and they follow that quite rigorously.
The other danger is obviously the pop-in. So when you are doing that strategic work or you're trying to have that quiet time and then staff come by and just go, oh, Heidi, just want to ask you about this. Someone told me once that it's good to have headphones on and to appear disinterested. What do you say to that?
Look, I think when you're in a small office environment where there's an open door policy, I think it's good to have an office protocol where if I've got my headphones on, that means you can't interrupt me or don't interrupt me. And just make sure everybody knows that. The other thing to think about with everything that you do during the day is that your time is money. And if someone was to stop you in the street and say, can I have $20? You'd say no. And yet if you have staff constantly interrupting you saying, can I have 10 minutes of your time? Can I have half an hour of your time's money. So you need to push back on that and have dedicated blocks and periods of time where, yep, I'm free. If you need to talk to me, use these times to talk to me, unless something's urgent. But having those sort of rules, office rules and protocols works well for you, but it also works well for your team.
So you've done a lot of work with professional women. What is it about women? Do they just need more help than men?
No, I think that, well, perhaps some of them do.
I know one that does.
No, women tend to take on more. So a lot of the women that I work with are professional career women or business owners who also have families. And they tend to take on the lion's share in terms of running the house, raising the family, making decisions about the kids. And at the same time, they're running their business or they're trying to grow their career. So they tend to have more to juggle. They tend to be the last people to ask for help. And they tend to be yes people who don't know when to say no or how to say no. They don't want to let anybody down. And so they're the sorts of clients I love because there's so much we can do to work with them to help them better manage the juggle.
Now you say that you can help executives or business owners get 30 hours back in their working week just by better time management.
Working month.
Working, sorry. Yeah, no, working month. I'm glad you clarified that. It's still really significant. So what's the silver bullet to it all?
Look, it's about understanding where you're currently spending your time and mapping that in detail. Because once you've mapped your time...
30 hours is significant.
It is. It's massive, but it's there to be had. I've never worked with someone who we haven't managed to get them back at least 30 hours. And it's... we're creatures of habit, and you think about your own day and how you start your day and what you do during the day. You tend to do things the same way every single day. So it's about identifying those habits and then breaking them and saying, no, look, that's not the way to manage your meetings. That's not the way to manage your emails. When you're at home, stop doing everything for your kids. You know, they're capable of helping and doing stuff for you.
I agree with that.
So, start insourcing at home. So, family's a team sport. Everyone has their tasks that they have to do. And you start to delegate, insource, outsource, and primarily reject some of the silly habits that you've fallen into. And the hours are there to be had.
Do you think it's fair to say that some executives fall into the trap that thinking putting more time into work is going to be more productive, whereas perhaps if they actually go and they do yoga or they go and do some exercise, that's going to refresh the brain and give them more energy and be a little bit more productive when they're at work?
Absolutely.
Is that part of the time that they get back?
Absolutely. And it's proven that if you take even as little as a 15-minute break from your desk and get up, walk around, get some fresh air, it actually increases your performance by up to about 23%. So the concept of just sitting at the desk for hours and hours and hours and feeling you're getting through heaps, or sitting and multitasking and having stuff, so many things on the go, is actually really unproductive. So it's about structuring your day, scheduling breaks, scheduling me time, so that you manage your day well and you're mindful and you're present. You're able to focus on the task at hand. You haven't got 100 things going on in your head.
Being present, that can be a challenge sometimes. So just finally, for anybody who's looking for help, your business is called Time Stylers.
That's right.
So they can, your website, timestylers.com.au?
It's timestylers.com. Or they can connect with me on LinkedIn. And my book's also available on the website if they're interested.
Great. Me time.
Me time.
Me time. I need more me time. Thanks so much for joining me on the program.
It was a pleasure. Thank you.